Class 9 Cadences. How to find the key of a piece of music. 1. Key signature. So if you look at the key signature, you will find one major and one minor key. 2. Accidentals. So when you see a raised 6th and 7th degrees, especially when going up, it means it's a melodic minor. When there's a raised 7th degree, it means it's a harmonic minor. And when there are no accidentals, it's a major. And 3, the melody usually starts or ends on the tonic or dominant, or the tonic and dominant chord or triad. The first step will give you 2 possible keys, a major key and minor key for that key signature. And the second and third steps will tell you if it's the major, harmonic minor, or melodic minor. Cadences. A cadence is a place of rest in music. Cadences are 2 chord progressions that occur at the end of phrases and at the end of a piece of music. There are 2 types of cadences, final and non-final. Final cadences end on the tonic, and non-final cadences don't end on the tonic. There are also different types of final and non-final cadences. In the final cadence, there is an authentic cadence and plagal cadence. So the authentic cadence goes from the dominant triad to the tonic, or it's the dominant 7th to the tonic. The plagal cadence goes from the subdominant to tonic. Then in non-final cadence, there is one half cadence. So half cadence is either tonic to dominant or subdominant to dominant. So the 2 half cadences end on the dominant, and all final cadences end on the tonic. The authentic cadence. Cadences in the keyboard style are written with the root of each chord in the bass clef and the root 3rd and 5th of each chord in the treble clef in closed position. In minor keys, the 7th degree, which is a leading tone, must be raised in the dominant triad. An authentic cadence most often occurs over 2 measures. So the first one is the C major cadence. So this over here, these 2 chords are called a cadence. So the first one is a dominant because it's an authentic cadence. It's dominant because it has the notes G, D, G, and B. So the root or the dominant, which is G, is written in the bass clef. The root 3rd and 5th is in the treble clef. Then the second one is a tonic because the tonic, which is C, is in the bass clef. The tonic triad is in the treble clef. Now there's an A minor triad. So these 2 chords together is a cadence. So it's also an authentic cadence because the first one is a dominant. So the bass clef has an E, which is a dominant of A, and then the treble clef has E, G sharp, and B. And the reason it has a G sharp is because it's based on the A harmonic minor, so you have to raise the 7th, which is a G, and you raise it into G sharp. And the second one is A in the bass clef, which is a tonic for A minor, and then the treble clef has a A minor triad. Progression dominant 7th to tonic is also an authentic cadence. In this progression, the dominant 7th can be written as a complete chord with the root in the bass clef, and 3rd, 5th, and 7th in the treble. It may also be written as an incomplete chord, leaving out the 5th, with the root in the bass and a doubled root 3rd and 7th in the treble. In some 4-part writing, the 7th of dominant 7th must fall to the 3rd of the tonic chord. In keyboard and instrumental style, this is not necessary. So this one, there's G, B, G, and F in here, which leaves out the dominant. it leaves out the fifth. So this is G, B, and G and F, so I left out the fifth, which is a D, and then this one's just a tonic chord, so that's an incomplete dominant seventh. And complete dominant seventh in A minor would have the dominant seventh of A minor, which is E, G sharp, B, and D. So the E is in the bass clef and the others are in here. And then there's a tonic triad chord. The plagal cadence. In plagal cadences, the subdominant chord moves to the tonic chord. Like the authentic cadence, the plagal cadence is a final cadence because it ends on the tonic. It most often occurs over two measures, with the subdominant chord on the last beat of the first measure and the tonic chord on the first beat of the second measure. So the C major one, first it's the subdominant chord, which is a F chord, so F, A, C, F, and it moves to the tonic chord, so C, E, G, C. The subdominant is in bass clef for the first chord, and the second chord the tonic is in the bass clef. And for the C minor, it's the same, but it's a F minor chord and the C minor chord in the subdominant and tonic. For the following chord progressions, name the key, name the key, and name the cadence, authentic or plagal, and symbolize the chord. So dominant to tonic or subdominant to tonic. So this one, when there's 6 flats, then it's either G flat minor or E flat D. Okay, it's either G flat major or E flat minor. So if we look at the tonic chord, because since it's dominant to tonic or subdominant to tonic, then this chord is a tonic chord, and it's a G flat major chord. So that means it's G flat major. And then it says name the key, so we name the key and then the name of the cadence. So then we look at the first chord. So this first chord over here, it's D flat, F, A flat, and D flat, and that is the D flat chord. So since D flat is the dominant of G flat, that means it's the fifth. So over here it's the fifth, and this one's tonic, so it's an authentic cadence because it moves from the dominant to tonic. Now the second one, so this one is the F sharp minor chord, so it's F sharp minor, and the key signature with 3 sharps, it's F sharp minor or A major, but since this is the F sharp minor chord, then it's F sharp minor. And then, so this one is the tonic, and it's a lowercase I because it's minor. And then the first chord over here, it's C, E sharp, G, and C, which is the dominant chord of F sharp minor. So it's V. And there's also a E sharp instead of an E because you use the F sharp harmonic minor, so you raise the leading tone, which is the E, so it becomes E sharp. And this again is an authentic cadence. Half cadence. The half cadence has an unfinished sound, like a comma rather than a period. There are 2 half cadences. One is tonic to dominant, and the other is subdominant to dominant. So this one, the first one is C major, and it goes from the tonic to the dominant. So the tonic of C major is a C major chord, and the dominant of C major is the G major. And again, the tonic one, in the bass clef there's the tonic note, and in the bass clef for the dominant, there's the dominant key or note. And same for the A minor, so this one goes from 1 to 5 again. So the first one is the A minor chord with A in the bass clef, and then the dominant is E, so there's E in the bass clef, and then E minor chord with a raised G, so it's G sharp because it's based on the A minor harmonic, which raises the leading tone. Now this one is C major again, but it's subdominant to dominant, so the subdominant of C is F. So over here there's F in the bass clef, an F major chord, and then the dominant of C major is G, so there's G in the bass clef and the G major chord. Then for A minor, it's subdominant to dominant again, and so the subdominant of A is D, so there's a D minor chord, and then there's the dominant of A minor is E, so there's a E chord with a raised G sharp. And for the major chords, the tonic or subdominant is a capital because this is a major chord. This is also the F major chord, which is major, where it's capital, and it's lowercase when it's a minor chord. So for example, this is the A minor chord, so it's a lowercase I, and then this is the A minor subdominant chord, which is the D minor chord, and it's a minor, so it's also lowercase IV. For the following chord progressions, name the key and name the cadence, authentic, plagal, or half, and symbolize the chords. So the first one is there is a B and then to an F, and then it has two sharps, which means it's either D major or B minor. Then so first we look at the key signature, that's step 1 to finding a key, and then so it's B major or B minor or D major, and then you look at if there's like any accidentals, and so if there's any accidentals, so there's an A sharp, so if it's B minor, then it would need to raise the leading tone, which is A sharp, so then it's probably B minor, and then you look if it ends on the tonic or dominant. So the dominant of B minor is F or F sharp, and it ends on F sharp, and over here there's a B, so it's definitely B minor. So the key is B minor. So then this is the tonic because there's a B over here, and then there's the B triad in the treble clef. And it's a lowercase I because it's B minor, not B major. And then this one F is the dominant, so it's V. And then this needs to be capital because all dominants are major. So like because you raise the leading tone, which is A sharp. So this is the F sharp major chord. So the cadence is 1 to 5, which means it's a half cadence. Then the second example, so there's one B flat, so it's either F major or it's D minor. So it's F major or D minor. Then we look at this, so it's an F and a C. So, and there are no accidentals, so it's probably F major. And then you look at the F and the C, since it's a F, if it's F major, the F is the tonic and the C is the dominant, so it's definitely F major. So the key is F major. And then this is the tonic, and it's a capital I because it's F major. And then the dominant because C is the dominant of F major. So the cadence is 1 to 5 again, so it's a half cadence.